In this video, we're going to talk about how to actually practice self-love and acceptance. And I'm going to share with you 15 self-love prompts and loving yourself exercises. Hi, I'm Simona, certified life coach and author of the book 111 Ways to Simplify Your Life. I upload educational videos on personal development. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it to get notified when I upload a new video. Now, before we get into my 15 self-love prompts and loving yourself exercises, I want to answer one of the most common questions that I get when it comes to self-love. How do you actually do it? We all know that self-love and self-care have kind of become buzzwords in the past few years. So it's important to ignore all the fluff and find out what actually works for you. For me personally, journaling prompts and keeping myself accountable through filling out worksheets and checklists have worked wonders. I genuinely think that we have all the answers. We just need to know how to ask the right questions. Now, the topic of self-love and self-acceptance is very near and dear to my heart. Here's my story in 30 seconds or less. I grew up in a toxic environment. I was bullied at school and I had no idea how to take proper care of myself. I always put other people's needs before my own, I felt constantly exhausted and overwhelmed, and I was looking for love outside of myself. It took me quite some time to genuinely accept and love myself, and journaling played a big role in this healing process. And now I want to share with you 15 of my favorite self-love prompts and loving yourself exercises, so that you can try them out for yourself. Alright, now let's dive into the first one. The first question I want you to answer is, what are 3 things that I like about myself? The purpose of this journaling prompt is very simple. By writing down 3 things that you like about yourself, you will be able to train your brain to look for evidence, which means that it will give you more and more ideas when it comes to things that you like about yourself. If you can't come up with these 3 things off the top of your head, don't worry. Here's what you can do in this case. Think of something that you genuinely enjoy about yourself. It doesn't have to be about your appearance or personality. It could be an activity that you consider yourself good at. For example, cooking, writing, dancing, etc. You can list your strengths, favorite personality traits, or skills. Now, let's get into the second prompt. What are 3 things that I dislike about myself? Although this one sounds counterintuitive, it's actually extremely important, and it will reframe the way you see yourself in a big way. When you write these 3 things that you don't like about yourself, I want you to list at least one situation where these 3 things serve the purpose and how you learned from them. If you wrote down physical traits, not personality traits, you can also think of ways in which you can reframe your inner self-talk when it comes to these particular traits. Think of it this way. Would you say all of these mean things to someone else? No. Then maybe it's time to brainstorm a more neutral approach towards the things you dislike about yourself. Pay attention to your inner critic. All of those negative thoughts that go through your head. If you're not familiar with the concept of silencing all of these bad inner voices, I've got you. We'll talk about how to master your inner critic in the loving yourself exercises later in this video. Now let's get into the third self-love prompt. What did I enjoy doing as a child? Reflecting on this question will help you remember who you were before everyone else told you who you should be. The truth is that the hobbies and activities that we enjoyed the most as children are the ones that have a high potential to invoke the same feelings of excitement, novelty, and joy. So think about the things that you enjoyed doing as a child, and you may find a thing or 2 to incorporate into your daily routine. Or maybe you will get inspired to pick up an old hobby. Now let's get into the fourth self-love prompt. What are my top 3 core values? Your core values are a set of principles that guide you through life. They help you make better decisions and give you clarity on how to approach difficult situations. Here are some examples of core values: freedom, love, health, abundance, contribution, etc. Now, if you want to get inspired or you're not sure what your core values are, download your free cheat sheet with the top 98 values to choose from. Just click the first link in the description box below or visit bit.ly/98values. Question number 5. What activities in the past made me feel like I was being true to myself? Now, let's first talk about what being true to yourself actually means. It means doing things that are aligned with your truth, values, and principles. So you may see such activities as the ones that made you feel genuine, authentic, and unapologetic. Here are some examples to get you started. Maybe talking to close friends on the phone every day is the thing that made you feel true to yourself. Or maybe it had something to do with pouring your heart out on a piece of paper, such as writing poems. Now let's get into self-love prompt number 6. If I could do anything, how would I spend my free time? I want you to think about the activities that actually make you smile. And if you had the entire weekend to yourself, you would enjoy doing all of them. How would that make you feel? And what would be your takeaway after writing all of them down? Question number 7. What are 3 things that I have done in the past that I am actually proud of? We've all done amazing things in the past, even if we don't give ourselves enough credit. You can be proud of your accomplishments, the state of your relationship, or simply the way you handled things in the past. Think of the top 3 things that come up in your mind and write them down. The next self-love prompt is number 8. How would I treat a friend in this situation? I want you to imagine a difficult situation that you had to face lately. Since you're watching this video, you probably didn't react with a lot of self-love and self-compassion. So I want you to imagine that a friend had the same problem. What would you advise them to do? How would you treat them in this situation? And how would you hold some space to let them express their pain and frustration? Now do the same for you. Question number 9. What makes me feel good about myself? Feeling good about yourself means being content with who you are and where you are in life right now. It could mean putting nice clothes on, wearing makeup, doing your hair, meditating, taking a long relaxing bath. We are all different and we all have different pick-me-ups. So write down yours and come back to this prompt when you're having a bad day, so that you know what you can do to lift yourself up. The next self-love prompt is, how have I helped others in my life so far? Being there for other people is also a form of self-love. When you're kind and generous, you will feel connected, inspired, and present. I've also found that when we focus too much on ourselves, we become too invested in our storylines. And it's important to broaden our horizons by remembering that we're all connected and we're all part of something so much bigger. So spend some time reflecting on the things that you've helped other people with in the past. Self-love prompt number 11. What are 3 challenges that I have overcome in the past? Sometimes we forget how strong we are and we start doubting ourselves. So this prompt will help you focus on the things that you have already overcome in the past. The greatest challenges you've faced in your life so far actually helped you build your character. So spend some time thinking about all the big, bad, scary things that you have overcome. And remember your inner strength. If you want to dive deeper into the topic of overcoming self-doubt, make sure to listen to episode 124 from the Simplify Your Life podcast. I will leave a link below. Next self-love prompt. What are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? This is a popular one and I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times before, but I want you to actually write them down. If you decide to turn journaling into a daily habit, this is one of the most important daily prompts because it will rewire your brain to look for even more things to be grateful for. Your mind will literally scan all of your experiences and pick the ones that made the biggest positive impact on you. So try it out for yourself for a few days, and I'm sure you'll notice a difference in your overall mood and outlook on life. Now let's get into self-love prompt number 13. What is one thing that I can stop doing today to feel better about myself tomorrow? I want you to pick only one so you don't overwhelm yourself. If you stop doing one thing, it will be much easier to stick to it in the long run. Here are a few examples to get you inspired. You can turn off the notifications on your phone or stop going to bed late at night. The next question is closely related. What is one thing that I can start doing today to feel better about myself tomorrow? Again, I want you to list only one thing, so you actually feel empowered and excited to stick to it in the long run. Now, an example of a healthy thing that you can start doing is drinking more water, doing 10 minutes of light exercise, start meditating in the mornings, etc. Here's the next prompt. If I love myself more, what would I do in this situation? When you're still battling with your negative self-talk or you have a lot of shame, guilt, and disappointment that you need to let go of, it's difficult to react in a loving and compassionate way towards yourself. So I want you to reflect on this question and think about the 2.0 version of you, the one that is going to love you more than the one that is watching this video right now. And start writing down what you would do in this situation. Practicing self-love is a conscious process that takes some time and effort, but it can be also a lot of fun if you don't treat it like a chore. The truth is that you probably won't notice the big results that you're looking for in the first few days. Maybe you'll get excited or inspired to do a few of these things, but it's important to stay consistent when life throws you a curveball. Self-love is a daily practice, and so is caring for yourself and being compassionate. That's why I've created the Self-Love Toolkit, your new best friend when it comes to focusing on taking good care of yourself and loving yourself for exactly who you are. If you want to try out more journaling prompts, loving yourself exercises, 365 ideas to take better care of yourself, self-compassion worksheets, and a lot of other amazing bonuses, head over to www.theselflovetoolkit.com. Okay, now that we've tried 15 self-love prompts, let's get into loving yourself exercises that I have prepared for you. The first one is to schedule 10 minutes for yourself every day. We've all used the excuse, I'm too busy, I don't have time for this. That's why I created this simple exercise. I want to take away all of your excuses and empower you to spend some time on the most important person you will ever have in your life, you. So right now, while you're watching this video, I want you to open your calendar and schedule 10 minutes just for yourself today. Once you start feeling comfortable with having just 10 minutes for yourself, you can gradually spend even more time on guilt-free self-love activities. The sky is the limit with this one. The second loving yourself exercise is to master your inner critic. I briefly mentioned the inner critic in the beginning of this video, so I'm gonna explain this concept in a few words. Your inner critic is that mean voice on the back of your head that's constantly criticizing you and saying bad things to keep you stuck, lonely, and afraid. It's the internalized voice of a parent, caretaker, or teacher who criticized you growing up. Your inner critic is not you. Some people like to give their inner critic a name to detach themselves from it. For me personally, I like to observe it from a distance and track my anxious thoughts. One of the easiest ways to master your inner critic is to watch it objectively without engaging. Simply see your thoughts flowing through your head like clouds in the sky. Observe them. Don't take them personally and let them go. Now, if you're struggling with obsessive thoughts or anxiety, I recommend watching my video on how to deal with anxious thoughts. I will leave a link in the description box below. The third loving yourself technique that you can try is visualize your best possible self. Visualization is extremely powerful when it comes to reframing your mindset. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between something that's actually happening and the picture that you're visualizing in your head. So you can use this to your advantage. By visualizing your best possible self, meaning the person you aspire to be, you will start reprogramming your subconscious mind. Try this technique for a few minutes today and see how you feel about it. If it resonates with you, I recommend doing it for a few days in a row so you start seeing it as your little self-love treat that you're looking forward to. The more you visualize your best possible self, the more you will get excited about becoming the person that you see in this picture. You will start making better choices, trusting your inner wisdom, and relying on yourself to do the right thing. Now, if you want even more self-love exercises, journaling prompts, and some amazing bonuses that you won't be able to find anywhere else, make sure to visit www.theselflovetoolkit.com. So far in this video, we talked about how to practice self-love and acceptance. And I shared with you 15 self-love prompts and loving yourself exercises. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because in the next video, we're going to talk about actual practical ways to practice self-love. In the meantime, make sure to check out these two videos next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.